is Tiffany Frechette, and I'm a fourth-year student at the Chicago School. I'm in the clinical PsyD program. So I was previously with Argosy and then came over in the transition. So I'm currently working on my dissertation and in my therapy practicum, and I'm happy to be here to help you out.
And this is Vince Fuentes. He is one of our wonderful students and student worker at the Anaheim campus. Vince, would you mind providing an introduction, going a little more into detail about you?
Sure, of course. Currently, I'm a second year clinical forensic psychology student in the PsyD program. And as Rachel said, I also work on campus, and I am a TA for Dr. Gonzalez in the MFT program. So I'm more of the general surgeon. I would do a little bit of everything.
My name's Paloma, and I'm a student in the PsyD in Applied Clinical Psychology program.
Could you give our viewers a sense of how you prepare for open registration, such as do you have like any tips or tricks that you use right before registration opens and then like right after it opens?
There's usually a schedule that has been published beforehand that we receive from our department manager. So we get an idea of like what courses are going to be available in the semester to come. And with that, I already have like the course number that of the course that I'm looking to register for. So when they are available on the registrar, like where you can register for your courses, I just type in the code and then I bookmark the courses. I have to do that, otherwise when registration opens, it can be too like challenging to search through all the classes.
I have my phone with all of my notifications and like calendars. I have the academic calendar saved, so I know what dates to plan for. Like November 1st is the upcoming registration date for a lot of people. And I have that marked on my calendar. I also have a picture of the academic calendar so that I don't forget. So for me, it's a lot of planning and just getting like ahead of things, because for the clinical forensic psychology program, Dr. Caldwell emails us like, hey, here are the classes that everyone, should probably register for. And I got that last week. So just keep in mind, so my tip would be, email notifications, putting your phone, like notifications on your phone so that it can update you periodically, like, oh, you have registration coming up, and then make sure that you're taking X amount of classes. So yes, you can use your phone to help you. Maybe not like don't use your phone in class, but using your phone to help, just with scheduling has helped me immensely.
For me, what's been helpful is just having the list of the correct course numbers, also the name, and also the professor. So just having that list, like on a little post-it note right before registration opens, is helpful so that I can just go in and out instead of like having to search it on the search for courses. I just type it in and then register it, and it makes it a lot easier. So at the beginning of my program, I was given a curriculum grid of the courses that, like the core courses that I needed to take, and if there were semesters that I needed to do electives. So I would just follow that. So the grid has the course number and the names. So it just makes it easier to have that kind of like whole picture of like what courses I'll be taking for the years that I'm in my program, and then per semesters.
Could you describe maybe a common issue that you face when you're registering for the next semester? And do you have any ways that you kind of mentally prepare yourself, or like tips to maybe circumvent, or, ways that you found to circumvent that kind of issue?
I guess difficulties are if the courses that I thought were going to be available or not, how to adapt which classes I'm going to be taking. So that's just selection. But I think the only really issue that I've ever run into when registering, meaning like interacting with the online registering, is if the course requires some prerequisites that I've like taken or have been overridden by my department to take. In order to sort of get past those issues, I always have like the student support number available, or finding the right courses that match with my program sometimes are difficult when the professor hasn't been selected yet for that course. I think it's just like the first two letters of the course number. That's how I do it.
Sometimes there has been an issue in the past where like the bookmarks would get erased. And so you would have to go back in again and re-register for like the classes. So to just circumvent that, like bookmark it, screenshot it and save it so that, and then also have like an email notification or a notification on your phone to check it 2 to 3 days before registration. So I just want to double check to make sure that everything is fine. And if you have to manually do it because of anything, at least you have your screenshot to say, hey, these were my specific classes I was bookmarking. You can send it out to IT or to the proper, through like the proper procedures and channels and everything.
With dissertation courses, sometimes the course wasn't listed because my dissertation chair wasn't part of my program. So if I would notice that, I would immediately email student support and they would help me with that. Sometimes it was helpful to connect with them beforehand, just saying, letting them know that I'd be taking, X dissertation class, and then they, so that I didn't come into this issue.
What has helped you stay on track with registering for the correct courses each semester?
So my program uses a sort of like a course sequence. So depending on what year you're in, it will outline, which classes to take in the fall, summer, and the spring. And generally those are the only classes that are available. So you can't go too far off track.
For the clinical forensic psychology program, Dr. Caldwell emails us like, hey, here are the classes that everyone, should probably register for. And I got that last week. So
the curriculum grid, I think that has been it has been really helpful because it also helps me kind of know like if I'm like taking the courses I'm supposed to be taking for that specific semester. And it lets me see how many units I'm taking that semester. It kind of just puts it, lays it all out there to have. So having that has been really helpful.
What advice would you give to your peers in the TCSPP student community, just either in general or about registration?
Definitely keep up with the TCSPP emails from faculty and just, from the dean and other weekly notifications, because that's how I stay up to date on what kinds of services are available. I recently went to like a workshop that the Writing Center was giving, and I found it super helpful. But it was something that I wouldn't have, sought out if I didn't get a notification for it. So that requires a lot of, just keeping up with your emails, and try to stay connected with my TCSPP community and peers through the different kinds of workshops and talks that were available. I see we do a lot of drives and ways to sort of give back to the community, and I would definitely recommend that peers get involved in that.
To make connections with your cohort, because we do form a community of like peers. We're all growing professionals. So I would say connect with your cohort. We can lean on each other and help each other through like personal problems as well as like school, because like it does help to have somebody that's understanding. Whether you're in the same program or not, because I do have friends in other doctorate programs at the school that I can lean on, and they lean on me as well, because we all can understand the struggle of school life that maybe our families don't necessarily know, or maybe our significant others and so forth. So it's very good that I would say like connect with your cohort as much as possible, because we all probably have the same homework assignments, so we can like share notes if one of us is missing or is late. So I would definitely say connect with your cohort. Another thing is to definitely talk with your professors. I've established a pretty good relationship with my professors, whether it's hey I have this medical emergency, or like I wanted to pick your brain about this particular research questions that I was thinking about, dissertation or not, because I know dissertation is very heavy-handed, and I understand that because I'm doing dissertation now. But the thing about being here at a university is that we are here to learn. So I mean, and professors I have, or at least in my experience, have been very receptive to questions and to furthering conversation and the discussion. So please, develop those relationship with your professors and with your peers, because when we graduate, they are going to be the peers that we and like the colleagues that we go for consults and stuff as well. So I'd say make those connections would be very, very, very beneficial.
Leave the student resource line in your contacts, the phone number, because I mean it can connect you to so many different offices. So instead of having to call the front desk to be directed, you can call them, and then it's a very quick transfer. So just saving that number is so helpful. I've used it often. So